Frank Lampard's redemption arc with Coventry is crazy. The Salah situation just got ugly. Messi commits to the MLS till 2028, and Erling Haaland officially joins YouTube. This is DMAC Daily. Lampard's footballing career was objectively outstanding, yet his transition to management has been nothing short of a roller coaster. In his first ever job at Championship side Derby, he appeared destined for the big leagues, defeating Manchester United in the League Cup, guiding the Rams to the Championship playoff final, playing an expansive brand of football whilst prioritizing youth too. He was doing everything right, and after just one season, the dream job then lined up: a return to Chelsea Football Club as their manager. And despite a transfer ban that immediately followed, he still managed to secure a top 4 finish whilst blooding so many academy prospects through the first team. Unfortunately, in his second season, following a huge summer spending spree, results suddenly deteriorated, and under the ruthless Abramovich ownership, he was kicked to the turb, with Thomas Tuchel stepping in and then famously winning the UCL. His reputation took a sizable hit, and it didn't recover at his next club, Everton. He managed to drastically avoid relegation in his first season in charge, but in his second campaign, results tanked, his tactics were heavily scrutinized, and he was gone by January. Then he opted to rejoin Chelsea as caretaker coach, a foolish decision because this club was in a total freefall at the time, having just spent hundreds of millions on new recruits. The results were atrocious in his 2-month stint, 1 win in 11 matches. So in the space of a few years, his reputation had completely diminished. As a result, he took time off, learning from the likes of Pep Guardiola and Thomas Frank. Then, 19 months later, an opportunity emerged at Championship side Coventry City. When he took over in November of 2024, the Sky Blues were in a bad way, sat 17th in the league, just 2 points clear of the relegation zone. The fans weren't all that fussed about Lampard's appointment. I mean, this guy wasn't good enough, right? Tactically inept, living off of his playing days, but Lampard had a point to prove, and boy did he do that. By February, the team had risen from 17th to 7th place, overseeing their best run of form in 55 years. Come May, he had achieved the seemingly unthinkable, reaching the playoffs. But in heartbreaking circumstances, their Premier League dream would end, courtesy of a 123rd minute winner. It was a brutal way to go out, but Lampard's men haven't slowed down in the 25-26 season. In fact, it's the exact opposite. The Sky Blues are unstoppable right now. 11 games into the new campaign, and Coventry are undefeated, top of the championship, having won 5 on the bounce. And just look at their goal difference, which checks out when you realize the championship's top 3 goal scorers all play for Coventry. Lampard has cultivated an unbelievably dominant attacking team, which is all the more remarkable considering Coventry only spent £3.5 million this season on transfers and have the 20th highest wage bill in the division. Granted, we're not even a quarter of the way through the championship season, but the upward trajectory of this club under Lampard's stewardship is clear as day, all whilst implementing his attack-minded, possession-based approach. But the difference this time round is that the defensive side has clearly improved, with only second-place Middlesbrough conceding less goals than Coventry this season. He's rapidly changing the narrative on his managerial capabilities. The redemption arc is genuinely crazy. Staying in the English game, and what is going on with Mo Salah? Despite last season's record-breaking achievements, the 25-26 campaign has seen a drastic downturn in his performances and overall output. Fresh off of 4 league defeats, Slot decided once again to drop Salah in the UCL. Now, this may have simply been due to rotation. After all, this guy's 33. Managing minutes is essential, particularly in a stacked Liverpool forward line. But the fact that Liverpool won convincingly begs the question: could the Reds actually benefit from Salah being out of the team? Salah also came under fire, having come off the bench in that game and not teeing up Wirtz for a tap-in. Many Liverpool fans jumped to social media to voice their disdain. Then, less than 24 hours later, Salah removed all Liverpool affiliation from his profile pic, his bio, and headers on socials. Now, it's not entirely clear as to why he's done this. Is it maybe an indirect message to Arne Slot for benching him? Or is this due to the heavy social media backlash of late? I'm personally suspecting it's the latter. Look, Liverpool haven't been great this season collectively, with results really suffering in the last couple of weeks. Yet Salah has far too often been viewed as the scapegoat for their misfortune. Now, is he immune to criticism? Of course not. But for a player that has overwhelmingly contributed success to Liverpool for 8 years straight, last season being the peak of his Anfield greatness, the lack of compassion he has been subject to of late is kind of wild. Like, he is an out-and-out legend of the club, of the Premier League, of world football, but if he has one or two bad games, he's hounded like no other. Salah is ultimately a victim of his own ridiculous standards, and I get that he may not be the most aesthetically pleasing player to ever grace the Premier League, but with end products like his, there's no denying the positive contribution he makes. Perhaps the aging process is starting to catch up to him, which is to be expected in your 30s. Maybe that's why his numbers have gone down, but ultimately, I still believe that when Liverpool do turn things around, he will be in the thick of it. Unless this escalates further, Slot or Van Dijk have got to get their Egyptian king back on side. It's absolutely in Liverpool's best interests. Speaking of aging players, and the GOAT himself, Lionel Messi, has signed a fresh contract extension with Inter Miami to remain in Florida till the end of 2028. I was low-key getting nervous when Busquets announced his retirement, and then just a few days later, Jordi Alba followed suit. But the Argentine's latest deal ensures he'll remain in the game and most likely the US till at least his 41st birthday. The club announced the new deal in a pretty cool way too, a video of Messi signing a contract at their new stadium that is currently being constructed, the Miami Freedom Park, which is the most American stadium name ever and expected to open in 2026. Now, I do somewhat doubt that he'll stick around all the way till 2028, as he'll be 41 by then, but considering his recent output, who's to say he can't keep tearing up for years to come? In 2024, he won the MLS MVP. In 2025, he's destined to win that again and just won the Golden Boot too. I don't think there's a better environment for him to close out his illustrious career. Would love to see someone like Neymar join the club for an MSN reunion, but Messi alone is still a spectacle. I understand there are legitimate criticisms from MLS fans that believe Messi's impact has somewhat harmed the league through increased ticket prices and the Apple TV deal itself, although I do feel as though that's somewhat misguided frustration because Messi alone is not responsible for these issues. That's an MLS problem. That's an America problem. At the end of the day, Messi playing in the MLS is so beneficial to inspiring the next generation in the States, particularly when he's still breaking records left, right, and center. This guy is an icon, and I'm all for him balling out in Miami for a few more years. Switching gears to a younger superstar, and Erling Haaland. Welcome to the big show. Bro has officially launched a YouTube channel. As of recording, he's closing in on 100K. Won't be long till he's overtaken me in subs, but it's still fascinating nonetheless to see footballers of this status engage in these kind of platforms. Jude Bellingham also launched his own YouTube channel a little over a year ago, which drew huge numbers too. However, 0 uploads in 9 months. Do better, Jude. But focusing on Haaland, and his first video was rather unique. Check it out if you haven't already. It pretty much documents his daily routine. Now, I'll admit I was a little icked out by the whole raw milk thing, but it's also very on brand for a Norwegian Viking like Haaland. Besides that though, you get an inside view into the dedication of his craft, from his meticulous nutrition to staying match fit and the rather odd Mancunian accent when at the City training ground. Maybe it's just me, but I really enjoy this kind of media. You listen to press conferences or player interviews and it's so robotic, which is kind of ironic when comparing that to the robot himself, Haaland. But in this sort of content, you get an authentic glimpse of the actual human behind the elite athlete. And from what I took in, Haaland is just a normal, humble guy that seems to really enjoy raw milk. Anyways, guys, that's all for today's DMAC Daily. See you next time.